That's terrible.
Tell them that the tiger needs a little bit of love.
Screw them!
Run the jungle, let them roam their land. Then stand back and marvel, what a beautiful cat.
Wrong.
'Cause I saw a tiger, now I understand. I saw a tiger saw a man. I can give.
Tiger saw man. Welcome to another episode of Talking Busch. This is your Coronavirus 2020 edition. How you boys doing tonight?
We're living healthy.
All
So
good.
far, so good. Yeah.
Good,
Tigers
good.
were my favorite animal as a kid, as a matter of fact. So
Oh,
I gotta,
You
what
gotta
could
watch
have been? I could have been the Tiger King, maybe.
it. We'll get into Tiger King, but
if you,
let's
if you
talk
haven't
about
seen it, Phil, you do not have the testicular fortitude. I guarantee.
Truth.
well, you're only married to one woman. That's
Okay.
with one woman. That's not enough.
Yeah.
What's life like for you guys?
Yeah. So down here in North Carolina, we just got our shelter-in-place order starting on Friday. So I've been Wake Forest shut down a couple weeks ago. None of the kids came back from spring break, so all their employees have been working remote. So I'm working from home. My wife is working from home. Quite a bit different for her because she's used to, obviously she should be right in the middle of track and field season right now, and they don't have that. So she's kind of, looking for stuff to do, recruiting and stuff, I guess. But, and for me, I travel a lot for work. So now it's just kind of trying to find alternate ways to do that. But the big change is, I'm not able to go to the breweries anymore, which was kind of my favorite pastime here. So that
That one
sucks.
hurts.
I also can't understand like parks and things closing. Like they closed the part of the Blue Ridge Trail through North Carolina and stuff, and I can't quite seem to understand that. But so be it.
Parks are open here, as far as I know. You're supposed to social distance while you're at them, but they're
Right.
open.
Yeah.
Drew, how about you?
Yeah, the parks are open for now. So. Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't go out and do much anyways previously, so nothing much has changed except for the fact that I now work from home for the last couple of weeks. Katie's working from home. We got to keep all three kids at home, so besides the zoo that we got now daily, it's it's hard to get anything done, that's for sure. But to be
House is
honest,
finished, right?
well, that's the thing. I can't get them away now. Now I can't do a damn thing. And now I can't go to Menards. I think, Minnesota just had their shelter in place. I think it starts Friday or Saturday.
Hardware stores are staying open.
So does Menards count? Because then I might be all right.
I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess no excuses then.
How about you, Matt?
Yeah, Sioux Falls is pretty good. There's not as much, I would say, going on around here. We've got so I'm in the biggest city in South Dakota with our 200,000 people in it. And
Oh, good for you.
I think we've got like 11 cases here or something like that. But you go out and about and there's still people everywhere. All the stores are still full. And they did cancel schools, obviously, so nobody's going to school and a lot of people are working from home. There's less traffic, but we haven't got the shelter-in-place order yet. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of enjoying working from home, though, and I don't know. It's not so bad, honestly.
Yeah, but can you imagine how much better it would be if the NCAA tournament was going on right now?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
No doubt about that.
Yeah.
Life for me is a little different. I no longer have a job. Losing money daily.
Yeah.
But I feel fortunate it didn't happen last year when I was just fresh starting the business. I have some cash reserves. Had to lay off employees, which is tough, but realistic in this time.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking forward to maybe midsummer when this thing can open back up again and we can be ready to rock.
Yeah.
What do you guys miss most about this whole situation?
So can I just say, so we have like conference calls all the time now for work, just like 100 times a day. At the beginning of every conference call, we have to say something that's going well before we start the conference call. We have to go around the group and say what's going well today, because there's so much negativity. It's crazy.
Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, I don't know. Getting used to it. We can drink on our conference calls for the most part, like after like 3 o'clock, so that's kind of fun.
There you go.
It's just like accepted now. Everyone's like, "What are you drinking?"
Phil misses the breweries. What do you miss, Drew?
I miss schools. I miss daycares being open, man. I love my kids. No, I really do, but I've been cooped up with them
Quiet.
for
I
a
think
week.
your answer there is quiet. You miss quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, you miss the daily rigmaroles of life there to be able to like, I went to work to escape, to get some quiet, and now it's a zoo, man.
Hmm.
I think my kids are ready to be apart from each other too.
Yeah, tough with the little ones, that's for sure.
Yeah.
This is allegedly a sports podcast. What sporting event do we miss the most?
That's obviously the NCAA tournament right now. I don't give two shits about the NBA.
Yeah. The Masters is probably going to be my number
Masters
one
will hurt.
missed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I did watch the Dude Perfect Corona Classic. They had a golf event, so I got a little fix there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Common
Man,
posts daily holes. He does golf holes in his house.
Yeah. Saw that.
They're pretty brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Iowa might have had a decent tournament team here if we would have had the tournament going on. So
Wrong.
Gophers are going to beat them in the Big Ten tournament.
let me tell you about this though, sporting event wise. So I understand all the NCAA is canceling all these tournaments and everything, right? So, but right when this was going down, NCAA track and field indoor championships was about to start in Albuquerque. So all of the teams were already in Albuquerque. They had 2 days of practice in the venue, everybody together. And the day before the competition, the NCAA canceled the meet. And they're all already there, already practicing all together. Like, I can't understand that. Somebody explain that one to me.
Mm.
So then all these teams, hundreds of athletes, sat around in the hotel for 2 days waiting for their flight to go home.
Yeah, it doesn't seem
That
to
doesn't
make
make a
much
ton of
sense.
sense.
But tough decisions to be made. I mean, I know it's tough to be in that position to have to make those decisions, but
Yeah.
Right.
What are you guys doing to take advantage of your extra time on your hands?
walking the dogs a lot, trying to train the little puppy up a little bit. She's behind because of all of our work activities and everything. So getting them outside a lot. It's going to be 80 degrees here the next 3 days, so probably do some porch sitting.
Where's
And
for you on that one?
Oh, good
there you go.
for you.
80 degrees sounds wonderful.
Yep. So I will be day drinking while shooting out emails, I'm sure.
All right. Yeah, you guys all think it's gonna probably be like taking advantage of getting the house done, but
Yeah. I am working on I'm tearing down wallpaper and painting because I have nothing else to do at the office. So, basically every single wall when I bought the practice was wallpaper. So hallways are going down this next couple months.
That's shitty work.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Hopefully Dave is taking advantage of the time to get his tailgate mobile up and running.
Yeah.
Seen some pictures of that. Looks like it's going to be pretty sweet.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk a little NFL free agency. Your hometown favorite Minnesota Vikings have had an eventful free agency. If not signing anybody, they've lost quite a few players. Quick run through: Linval Joseph, gone. Stephen Weatherly, gone. Everson Griffin, almost certainly gone. Xavier Rhodes, gone. Trey Waynes, gone. Mackenzie Alexander, gone. Andrew Sendejo, gone. J-Ron Curse, gone. Zach Klein, gone. Laquan Treadwell, gone. Stephon Diggs, gone.
Mm-hmm.
What's your quick takeaway on all that, all those defections, Train?
Well, we kind of knew this was going to be the case, right? I mean, they were in salary cap hell, basically where they were, and for a team that over the last 2 years with the spending, Kirk Cousins' contract doesn't look bad by comparison now by any means. I'm not criticizing that, but you've had 2 years of all the pieces in place with the quarterback that you're gonna have, and you haven't been that close, to be totally honest. So, I mean, it's not. I don't know what argument you can make for being a piece away, and so trying to extend this, by walking this tightrope salary cap wise. I don't think that's wise. So
Drew, of those 12 or so names, maybe besides Diggs, given that was a trade, but are the other guys? Which one are they going to miss the most?
It'll be interesting to see with Griffin being gone, right? And I mean, we've lost pretty much our whole secondary, so I feel like it's hard to pick one of them, right?
For sure.
And I guess we'll really see how good Zimmer is this year. We're gonna be drafting a lot of secondary guys, right?
well, and did you see that the Bengals Vikings secondary pipeline just going back the other direction now?
Well, that's the thing. I can't remember exactly all the stats and stuff, but Rhodes underperformed last year. Waynes wasn't as good as we think he all is, right? So I think that was the reason they let go half those guys was maybe they were good for a couple of years, right? Rhodes closed, but the last couple of years he hasn't been that great. So it's
realistically, we knew that Rhodes was going to be gone. 3-4 games into last season, it was clear and obvious he'd lost several steps. He wasn't there mentally. Whatever it is. Waynes, they weren't going to pay him $14 million.
Cool.
I don't think that's smart for the Bengals to pay him $14 million, but some of the other names for $1 million or a couple million, the Mackenzie Alexanders, the Andrew Sendejos, like you really know you're up against the cap when you can't afford to sign your backups.
Yeah, but even Mackenzie got $4 million from the Bengals, and he can't. He's starting on. Yeah.
1 year deal. Would losing Everson hurt as much if you could have afforded to sign his backup, Stephen Weatherly to a contract? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
But they're a mess cap wise, and I don't know.
Well, that pretty much that whole list is defense, just about, right? So I mean, do you think there's some sort of shift? Is their defense going to go backwards on this whole deal?
Well, there's been talk too. Well, it has to go backwards without losing all that talent. But there's also talking now, that the Zimmer is maybe not going to call it defensive plays anymore. And
what's the purpose of having him then?
Because I don't totally disagree with the concept. I just think it's a mighty convenient time. Seeing as how if the defense sucks this year, you have a convenient scapegoat.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say if Zimmer is your head coach, you need him running your defense. That's what he's best at, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, realistically, what he brings to the table is great X's and O's defense.
It's true.
That might be about it.
That's true. He's definitely been a hindrance offensively.
Absolutely. And I don't think players love him as much as maybe fans did or maybe still do. But there's plenty of players leaving, and they aren't sorry to be away from him. Anthony Harris, franchise tag. Would you keep him? Would you trade him?
What's the franchise tag worth?
I think for him it's worth what, like $8 million, somewhere in there, $9 million.
As broken as a secondary is, I don't know. I probably would. I mean, what's it going to cost you? A year from now, he won't be under contract. You're not going to go make any big splashes in free agency, anyways. You just got to get your draft picks signed. So I'd probably take him. And I mean, he's a pretty damn good player last year.
Yeah, I mean, he was great. The other thing is, if you keep him and he leaves, the year after, you're going to get a compensatory pick, probably a third rounder, because he's going to be one of the best free agents.
Mm-hmm.
So if you trade him now, you can't trade him for less than a third rounder.
Right. Does his franchise tag already count against the cap? Because I know we only had
it
12,
counts as a
14 mil.
hold. Even if he doesn't sign it, it counts as a hold until he does, and then it's official.
Right, because I mean, if it is worth $8 million, if you can draft somebody that could be somewhat.
Yeah, it's not guaranteed until he signs it. So in theory, you could rescind it if you drafted a safety that you really liked or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Did anything happen with the franchise tags under the new
CBA?
CBA.
Yeah, so they can't give a franchise tag and a transition tag in the same year. That's why the Cowboys rushed to sign Amari Cooper to his big, $100 million deal. That's why the Titans rushed to sign Tannehill, so that they could franchise Henry, so the Cowboys could franchise Dak. The Vikings' only really notable signing, Michael Pierce, 3 years, $27 million, just appears to be a straight-up Linval clone.
Yep.
Just replacing that nose tackle, big boy in the middle.
Good for Kendricks.
Yeah, and Kendricks was awesome last year. Probably their best defender.
Mm-hmm. You'll be real solid right up the middle of the defense. Hopefully you can defend on the perimeter.
Just traded for a number 2 wide receiver as well, too, right? Didn't I see that?
Are you considering Tajay Sharp a number 2 wide receiver?
that was the tweet that I saw. Said that he'll play across from Thielen as the number 2. That was Rappaport said that, I think.
It was. I would be shocked if they don't draft a wide receiver that can beat out Tajay Sharp.
Yeah.
I also think BC Johnson might be better too.
All the Titans fans' responses to that tweet were just like hilarious. It was everything you would expect Vikings fans to say about like Laquan Treadwell or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure the Falcons. The Falcons tweeted out they signed former first-round draft pick Laquan Treadwell.
Yeah.
To which then just people were piling on.
Yeah.
Does this look like a full-on rebuild?
Boy, I think so. I mean, you don't have a long-term solution at wide receiver. You've got. Where are you strong? Running back?
It's not for long. 1 year.
And safety? I mean, it's. Yeah, I would say so.
But in a rebuild, you're usually trying to cut money. The reason we are at where we're at is because we don't have any room. Like, we can't even rebuild if we wanted to, right?
So then should it be a full-on rebuild?
It can't be. We don't have any cap room. I mean, I think I saw something in the next 3 or 4 years. We have a shit ton opening up. But right now, we didn't sign those guys because we couldn't, right?
So it's a precursor. It's a precursor to the rebuild.
It sounds relatively familiar to the Minnesota Wild, to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah.
It's the end of the end.
Stuck in the middle.
Gotta be stuck.
The middle of the end of the end, right, Drew?
Hey, man, we went into the second round of the playoffs last year. What else do you guys want?
God, that's the most Minnesota thing to say ever.
The only real positive I saw from the Vikings offseason so far was the Stephon Diggs trade, especially the day after DeAndre Hopkins got traded for a second rounder and a running back that can't move. So getting a first, a fifth, a sixth, and a 2021 fourth, I thought was a major win for Spielman.
Yeah, no doubt. I know that Diggs has he's a good go up and get a guy. He's a great deep threat. He's a very good route runner. totally disregard any of the diva thing too, because I think that's a little bit overblown. But holy cow, compared to DeAndre Hopkins is the best wide receiver in the freaking league.
Michael Thomas would like a word.
Okay, second best wide receiver in the league, and we'll see about Michael Thomas as soon as Drew Brees isn't there.
Yeah, but Deshaun Watson is really good too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not as good a passer as Drew Brees though.
Yeah. But you're right, Derek. Good haul for the Vikings, but they're going to have to turn something from that haul into a wide receiver though, because that's definitely a void for them, and they can't rely completely on the running game. And Thielen's going to struggle if he's the only wide receiving option in the whole group.
Absolutely. We saw that 2 years ago when Diggs got hurt and missed, a game or two or whatever it was. Thielen's catch or 100-yard games or whatever it was came crashing to a halt, and yeah, he couldn't get open when facing double coverage. Luckily for the Vikings, this is the deepest wide receiver draft maybe ever.
Yeah.
There are great wide receivers that are going to go in the 4th, 5th, 6th round that might be starters in the NFL, just like Diggs was as a 5th rounder.
Mm-hmm.
When you actually think about it in that facet, was what Thielen was out for how many games this year? 7, 8 games. So really, it was only Diggs and the rest of the cast, right? So now instead, it's Thielen and the rest of the cast this year.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Diggs was far better on his own than Thielen was.
Right.
So.
Well, and it's pretty reasonable. I mean, Thielen's not a young guy. The shelf life on him is not going to be for forever. And let's be honest, it's sacrilegious in the state of Minnesota to say anything critical ever about Adam Thielen, and I totally respect that. But he also was undrafted from Minnesota State University. He's not the most physically gifted guy out there. When he starts to go downhill, I imagine it's going to be over.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Love you, Adam Thielen. I mean, no disrespect.
On the other side, pretty good get for the Bills, and they're kind of in a win now situation, I think, with some of the pieces that they have. So they're starting to look like a pretty good offense, I think.
Yeah, but they
got a question.
Quarterback problem.
Yeah, got a question for you regarding that later.
All right.
Let's talk about the rest of the league a little bit. Tom Brady is no longer a Patriot. That's kind of big news, I guess.
Yep.
I hadn't heard.
What do you guys think about Tom Brady with the Buccaneers?
Sure seemed like he wanted out of New England.
Yeah, it did.
No doubt.
And he went to a team with 2 all-pro receivers, coming from a team that had literally no offensive weapons whatsoever.
Yep.
So we're gonna see. I guess we're gonna see what 41-year-old Tom Brady is really made of.
Yep. Does he have anything left in the tank?
He doesn't have a whole lot for excuses now.
I think their offensive line's pretty terrible, isn't it?
I think it's middle of the road.
Okay.
I looked that up.
Yeah.
It was like 15th or 16th or something.
Sure.
Which is better than us. By us, I mean the Vikings.
What are the Patriots gonna do at quarterback?
I
think they're gonna go with
done
Stidham.
anything yet, have they?
No.
They signed Brian Hoyer.
Yeah,
That was
there
the
you
They
go.
did. That's right.
Yeah, it's Bill Belichick is going to be tested.
That's
Who was the difference maker? Was it Bill
yeah.
or Tom?
That's the best thing about this whole thing is it's like,
We get to see a little bit.
yeah, we do. Tom Brady is in a position to, if he's still got it, he should throw for 4,500 yards and 30 plus touchdowns this year easily.
Yep. And he should take the Bucks from how many games did they win last year? 5, 6, 7, something like that, to 11, 12, 13.
Yeah.
Hey, was I missing something? At some point in this whole Tom Brady thing, there was all this talk that the 49ers wanted to trade for him. What was that about? Because isn't Garoppolo just fine?
There's been
So-
go ahead.
Yeah, the whole backstory on that, the whole reason Tom Brady got mad was Bill Belichick, when the 49ers called him for a QB, offered him Tom Brady first.
Okay.
And that pissed Tom off. And he remembered 2 years later.
Yeah.
So John Lynch has always wanted Tom Brady.
Okay.
And so even if he had Garoppolo, he'd rather have Brady. And
Gotcha.
and the Patriots and Bill Belichick wanted Garoppolo.
All right.
But there's trade rumors out there like cousins to the 49ers even. Like it seems with all the news out there, it seems like the 49ers are not in love with Jimmy Garoppolo.
I think you're absolutely right.
That's
If you watch the
interesting.
Super Bowl, you could see why.
Yeah, wasn't great. Well, the entire playoffs, it looked like I mean, it looked like Zimmer trying to hide, what's his face that took us to the NFC Championship.
Oh yeah, Case.
Case
Case
Keenum.
Keenum.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like they're
New Brown. Cleveland
Or when
Browns.
we used to try to hide Christian Ponder, or when we used to try to hide Tavares Jackson. Not that we've had run-of-the-mill quarterbacks for the last 30 years.
Yeah. And then they rush for like 400 yards in the NFC Championship.
Yeah. The 49ers are the team Zimmer wish he coached.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Except a Zimmer coach team would never be that original in some of their play calling.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe the most lopsided trade I've ever seen, in my personal opinion. DeAndre Hopkins. The Cardinals just stole him.
I cannot believe that.
Insane.
It's
Kyler Murray is like
yeah.
cream in his jeans.
Dude, it's like Houston's front office is like, I mean, it's like, I don't know, who in our league drafts all the people that used to be good? Like,
We do have one of those, don't we? But I can't think of who it is.
I don't know. I feel like Trevor, I don't want to say anything bad about Trevor because he's better than me at this, but I feel like Trevor tends to go for those guys that used to be really good like 10 years ago.
Grieve.
I was
Whose
going to say,
team name is still
it seems
Preston
like
Lance.
Grieve to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows the names.
Dude, like,
Well, yeah.
Houston's like, Priest Holmes? Holy shit.
What do you want?
Yeah.
Sadly, though, David Johnson is probably an upgrade for them at running back, but to get rid of DeAndre Hopkins for that.
Carlos
Same.
Hyde had a fine year last year.
Dude,
Not that he's great, but it doesn't matter is the point.
you know what's my favorite part about it? Is I can just imagine that transaction and you're Houston or you're the Cardinals and they come and you're like, okay. Houston wants what is the second rounder? Like I'm losing my train of thought here. I've been doing
Wish I had the
weird-
common man button right now.
Well, the best part of this too is so Arizona's running back now is Kenyon Drake, who is already is now an upgrade for them anyway over David Johnson. So
Exactly.
they were basically
And-
sure, take that guy.
Yeah. And they're probably
And
We weren't gonna play him anyway.
they're
And his $12 million guaranteed contract.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there probably was a point where they're like, okay, fine, we got to deal, but I want a fourth. That's not good enough. I want the fourth too. And Houston was like, fine. You know what I mean? You're just like, come on, you know. Like they had to know they had it in the bag to begin with, and then they went back for more and got more draft picks out of it. It's crazy.
Some other NFL free agency stuff. Phillip Rivers to the Colts. What do you guys think of that?
Good
Yeah.
short-term solution. I think they'll probably look at the draft for somebody, and it's good. I think they're a team that can win right now, so capable quarterback for him.
After Rivers' press conference, is anybody not cheering for Phillip Rivers right now?
Oh, I love the guy.
Yeah. Competitor.
Yep. Todd Gurley to the Falcons.
Kind of like David Johnson to the Texans.
Yeah, meh.
Austin Hooper is the highest paid tight end now with the Browns.
May have been a bit of an overreaction.
Melvin Gordon to the Broncos.
Todd Gurley category. I don't know, maybe slightly above that, but
Here's a move I
How much did he get paid
like.
there?
What's that? How much?
How much? Yeah. Anybody know?
2 years, $16 million, $8 million a year.
Have they said
A little
what
bit.
is he going to be a bell cow, or what, are they going to split with Philip Lindsay, or how? Were they saying anything about that?
No, and I got a question for you about that later.
Yeah.
Maybe one of my favorite moves of any of the teams, Emmanuel Sanders to the Saints.
Yeah.
That's a good fit for him.
Yeah, that offense is going to kick ass.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotta hit the Saints.
Teddy ball game going to the Carolina Panthers. 3 years, $60 million.
Yeah, just an hour down the road from me in Charlotte. So
Nice.
hometown guy now. Seems like they are. What's his name? Matt Rule. He's trying to do some different things. He's gotten rid of some kind of key pieces that they've had before, and he's changing it up. So I'm curious to see kind of where he goes. I don't know if it'll be a this year thing or a 2 or 3 years down the road thing, but I like it. I like it for Teddy, and I think I like it for the Panthers. Cam Newton wasn't going to be their answer anymore. He served his purpose, and time to move on.
I don't know.
Does Cam Newton get a? Go ahead.
I don't know that he's going to be a huge force in and of himself, but I think he's going to play well there with McCaffrey and what's the wide receiver they have?
Teddy does love checking it down. So
DJ Moore and
DJ Moore's a stud.
He's good.
He's a very good player, and obviously with McCaffrey, I mean they got some weapons out there. I think Teddy's going to do pretty damn well.
Does Cam Newton find a starting job for next year?
Doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it. What's left? The Patriots
Chargers.
didn't want him. Chargers, I think, would have moved on him had they wanted him yet. So
Yeah. How about Jameis? Does Jameis find a job?
shit.
I think both of those guys might end up starting once someone gets hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Chicago Bears have a new quarterback. What do you think about Nick Foles taking the reins of the Monsters of the Midway?
Vikings have sucked at quarterback for a long time, but the Bears.
Yeah,
I don't know.
add it to the list.
Yeah, I don't know what the Bears are doing at quarterback. I mean,
Christ.
yeah.
Yeah. Can't be worse. I mean,
Oh, it can't be worse. It can't be.
well, Nick Foles, right? We'll get isn't he typically good for like 30% of his games are awesome, and then the other 70% are
He runs hot and cold.
yeah, exactly, run of the mill.
When you haven't seen him in a while, he's really good.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Bears are trending the wrong way.
Yeah.
I have some fantasy football related Busch League or Busch Light questions for you boys. You ready?
Bring it.
Hear 'em.
Busch Light.
Or
Busch League.
So Bush League is if we disagree. Bush Light is if we agree.
Busch Light is good. Busch League is bad.
Yeah. All right.
correct. Tom Brady going to the Buccaneers. He will actually hurt Goodwin and Evans' fantasy value. Would you say that's
Busch Light.
or?
Busch League.
Who wants to go first on this one?
This was a tough one for me. Looking at the list, I had a hard time with this one. I think I'd say Bush League on this. I think it would be kind of it's sacrilegious to say that Tom Brady is going to hurt the value of someone for whom he's taking over Jameis Winston's previous role. So just from that rule of the earth, I'm going to say Bush League there.
I guess I'll go Bush Light for the fact that Jameis was good at throwing the deep ball, and that's where those guys made their hay, right? And
Absolutely.
Tom Brady didn't chuck it deep very much. I don't know if it's because he's older or because he didn't have anybody to chuck it deep to, right? So
We're going to find out.
we'll find out, right?
I think that is definitely Bush Light because they are going to be. They threw the ball 50 to 60 times a game, and they were constantly playing from behind. And that is a situation that they will not be in with Tom Brady. It's not going to be throw the ball. Those guys benefited from the sheer volume of passes that happened in that offense, and it won't happen that way under Brady. Even if Brady is a great player, he ain't throwing it 50 times. They're not both getting double-digit touchdowns.
No.
Sure. I think he has to have. There has to be one of those wide receivers has to have at least a stay there. So if I had to guess, I'm going to say Goodwin might be a safe play. I'd say it hurts Evans maybe a little bit more, but
I mean, they were both top 5 receivers last year,
mm-hmm.
top 10 if not top 5. I find that hard to believe. Train, your argument makes the most sense to me. Is they're going to be ahead. He's not going to turn the ball over and force them to pass more.
Yeah.
Granted, they still don't have any running backs in Tampa Bay.
No, but there's a draft yet to come.
Tom Brady QB sneaks, baby.
Question number 2. Melvin Gordon will be supplanted by Lindsey before the end of the year. Would you say that's
Busch Light
or
Busch League?
I would expect that'll be a split at worst. Because I don't know that you can necessarily even Philip Lindsay's been a pretty good player in the 2 years he's been in the league. Super underrated, in my opinion. But I don't know that you're ever going to put the full load on his shoulders. So, a starter, I mean, maybe, but I don't know that you're going to be able to tell a distinguishable difference between the two.
Yeah, and I don't know that I would say that Philip Lindsay is better than Austin Eckler, right? And so Austin Eckler wasn't ever able to really necessarily supplant Melvin Gordon. So I think there will be some sort of split, probably much like we saw in San Diego with the Chargers, but I don't know that I would say that in Los Angeles. So I don't know that I would say that Lindsay will supplant Gordon though. Busch League.
Drew?
I cut out there, so
Melvin Gordon will be supplanted by Philip Lindsay.
Will be supplanted by Philip Lindsay?
Yeah, Philip Lindsay will end up stealing carries from Melvin Gordon.
Well, that's Busch Light.
Yeah, I'm going to say Busch Light as well. I think they'll all be probably running back by committee most of the year.
I think a good chance it probably stays that way in my estimation.
All right. Todd Gurley remains a top 10 running back now that he's with the Falcons. Would you say that's
Busch Light
or
Busch League?
Who's the other running back?
They don't have one.
They don't.
They get rid of Devontae Freeman.
Yep.
Yeah.
10 running back. I'm going to go Busch Light. I don't think he's going to be tremendously... I don't think as a fantasy back, I don't think he's going to be super dependable. But probably just because of the power of that offense, he's going to get enough goal line attempts to have a pretty decent number of touchdowns. And I think that'll put him in the top 10. But he won't be the old Todd Gurley, I don't think.
Drew?
I'll go Busch Light once again. I think he's got his 1-year contract or with Atlanta, or was it?
I think you're right. I think it is a 1-year deal.
I think it's a 1-year kind of a prove it deal, right?
Yep.
And so he's either and he's only 26, I believe.
He's a young man with a lot of mileage on him.
He does, but it seems like all those Atlanta backs. Granted, there's been so many gone through there the last couple of years because they all get injured, but Devonta Freeman was pretty decent back in the day until he was always hurt, right?
Yep.
I can't think of the last couple of years offense has been pretty low. Seems like Atlanta also kind of good 1 year, bad the next year, good 1 year, bad the next year. They were bad last year.
Yeah. They also love their old running backs. I mean, Steven Jackson, Michael Turner.
Yep.
Bill, what do you think?
Since you guys are staying positive, I'm going to stay negative. I'm going to say Busch League. I just don't think that, Atlanta hasn't really supported a real top running back here in a couple of years. I think everybody was pretty high on Freeman last year, and he got hurt, of course, but they didn't really support a lot of real good, real good talent there at running back. I think they have other plans for how their offense is going to run. So, and then with Todd Gurley just not showing a ton last year, I'm going to say no.
All right. Next one. Emmanuel Sanders will be so good with the Saints. he will end up hurting Michael Thomas's fantasy value. Would you say that's
Busch Light.
or?
Busch League.
I need clarification on this. I mean, he had one of the best receiving years like ever last year. So even without Emmanuel Sanders, the likelihood that he repeats that year is pretty unlikely, right?
Sure. I guess I'm not asking if he's going to set the record for most catches again. More so what I'm asking is he should be the number one receiver drafted, or in auction wise, he should have the most dollars spent on him.
Sure.
When it is said and done, will he live up to the number one wide receiver hype that he is right now, or will he be less? Even if less is still top 5, he's less.
Mm-hmm.
I will say Bush League on this. I do not think Emmanuel Sanders is going to tear into Michael Thomas's fantasy value that much. I think Emmanuel Sanders might be a little bit of an upgrade at their wide receiver too, but it's not like they've been so sorely hurting at the other wide receiver positions in the Saints that you could just ignore all of those players, right? They've had some solid wide receivers. They've had Ted Ginn and they've had some of those guys, right? So they've had other options. It's not. I mean, sure, yeah, Emmanuel Sanders is an upgrade, but he's also an aging, possession receiver.
Yeah.
I don't think that's enough to really detract from what Michael Thomas is. I think they're still going to be looking his way, and I don't think that's gonna hurt his value enough.
So Emmanuel Sanders is a stretch the field kind of guy.
Not anymore.
He's not a possession guy, is he?
He's not fast anymore. I mean, not at least when I was watching him with the Broncos and then the Niners. He's catching a lot of intermediate routes.
The thing that gives me a little bit of pause in this is if he can stretch the field, I feel like the biggest winner out of this deal might be Kamara. And just the fact of Kamara being a big playmaker, closer to the line of scrimmage, may hurt Michael Thomas. But I don't know. You put DeAndre Hopkins into an offense with a young quarterback at the very least. I think he's still QB1. So I remember which way wide receiver one. I don't.
You're saying it's Bush League.
Yeah, Bush League. Okay, whatever that is.
I think it's a sweep. Yeah, I think it's Bush League. I think at the end of the day, thanks for the clarification there. I think he's still probably damn near close to wide receiver 1. Yeah, not record breaker. I don't think Emmanuel Sanders brings as much as I think he brings potentially.
Yeah. One more. Stephon Diggs, now a Buffalo Bill, has a worse season with his new quarterback that he seems so fond of than he did with the old one, who he didn't like so much. Would you say that's
Busch Light.
or?
Busch League.
Bush League for the same reasons that you guys think that Tom Brady hurts Goodwin and Evans, right? So Josh Allen likes to heave the deep ball and take a lot of chances, and that's where Stephon Diggs seems to thrive. So I think he's going to have a pretty good season.
I was thinking about the opposite way, and I'm not all that in the know on Josh Allen, but the games that I did watch, it was like he was scrambling for his life to keep drives alive more often than not. Maybe he does like to throw it deep, but I don't know. I mean, I think Cousins is a way better quarterback than Diggs for sure, and I still feel like that's a run first, play good defense offense. It hurts that Diggs was totally underutilized in our offense. I mean that skews this a little bit, but I think that's Busch. I think it's Busch Light. I don't think Josh Allen's very good.
I think
to Phil's point, what he was bringing up, Josh Allen, scouts, whoever, everybody agrees Josh Allen has the biggest arm in the NFL.
Oh really?
Not the most accurate, but the biggest. Like he can chuck that pigskin.
When is it Josh Brown that he's got there, right? As
Yep.
well.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
Josh Brown is a speedy outside deep threat, right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
Diggs isn't going. Diggs was our speedy kind of deep threat a little bit, right?
Yep.
So he's got an offset, but I think Diggs will be more that intermediate. He's one of the best route runners. So I think he may have more catches, but I don't know if he'll have as many yards. So I think it's Busch Light.
All right. A recurring segment here, we like to talk about who was the dumbest person of the week. If this would have been last week, Bill O'Brien would have been the winner. It is not, though, so let's see what we got.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser! Good. Good. More for me and you. Man, you are one pathetic loser. You're a moron.
Who is this imbecile? Where is he? I wish I knew.
This week's Moron of the Week. Do you guys see the news with the teenagers running around grocery stores and sneezing and coughing on the fresh produce?
No, I did not see that.
Who are these imbeciles? And what are we going to do with them?
I saw some story too of somebody that was like licking stuff at Walmart, and he got charged with like terroristic activity.
I think it's fair, or a assault.
Yeah, sure.
Well, to add to that, how about all those? I think we can call them kids now, right? Those college kids
I think it's
on
fair.
spring break.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you look at those beaches, it's like, what in the hell's going on here? We're all isolating up here, and down there, they're still, it's
If I catch
my
COVID,
spring
I
break.
catch COVID.
Yeah, I'm young.
Okay. 10 years ago, Drew, would you, hold on, would you have canceled your Panama City Beach spring break trip?
I don't think I would have ever bought a Panama.
I love that. Guys, like,
So, let's
we've been
cancel it.
planning this for like 2 months.
I know. 2 months seemed like an eternity to him.
Yeah.
God, the world changes when you get older.
No kidding.
All right. Circling back to where we all started. If you haven't watched Tiger King yet, you have to watch it. My favorite part, and I don't think anybody's gotten there yet, Joe Exotic runs for president
Of the United States?
of the United States. And it doesn't go like he expects. So then he runs for governor of Oklahoma. And just a quick preview, it goes way better than you'd ever expect.
So, Phil and Drew, are you guys in know about this at all? Do you have any idea what it
Yeah.
is? Okay.
I mean, I know what it's
Nah,
about. I just haven't started it yet.
Oh my god.
So to summarize for you, Drew, basically, they did some filming on 3 different people that are big into the tiger zoo world. It's essentially amateur zoos, and these places have hundreds of tigers. And it just goes into kind of all 3 of their lives, specifically Joe Exotic, who's kind of the featured character, and then basically his 2 biggest rivals. All I can say is you have to watch it. You have to. You cannot believe what goes on between these 3, essentially.
It is like imagine Joe Dirt and then make the storyline as ridiculous as your mind can possibly conjure up. And that's what this is, and it's a true story.
The song that I was playing, that is a Joe Exotic song. He made music videos with his tigers.
That he didn't actually sing, correct?
No, I think it's a Milli Vanilli situation.
Yeah. That's what the power trip was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh.
He hired some country band, like saying, "Hey, I'm going to be on this show. You want to sing this song, and it'll play on the show." And they're like, "Oh, great, it's good exposure." And they didn't realize he was going to lip sync over it, so they're not getting like any credit for the whole situation.
And that's
Did you see?
like one music video. Like it's just like goes with his TV show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 And he's got like 20 of them.
Oh,
My Train, you watched episode 3, you said?
yeah.
So you did she do it?
Yeah, I think she did do it.
I think she did do it.
So there's multiple angles worth of murder plots going on. There's very, very strange monogamous situations.
I mean, cult like behavior.
Yeah, people losing limbs. There's apparently people running for public office.
Mm-hmm.
There's spying. There's
Murder for hire.
sabotage. There's, I mean, like, it's the most ridiculous movie scenario you could ever think of.
Yeah, if it was a movie, you wouldn't think it was real.
It's like every Will Ferrell movie combined into one.
Yep.
And how many episodes?
7.
Oh, it'll take me a year to watch.
45-minute episodes or so, and you can't watch them with your kids.
No.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Hard to believe.
And we watched about halfway through the first episode. I'm like, this is satire. This has to be satire. There's no way this is real. This is made up. It's just made to look real. And so I went diving through the Reddit and everything, trying to find the answer. And everything I found said this is 100% real. There are no actors. All this stuff happened. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's the best.
I'm intrigued. Damn it.
You're welcome. Correct response.
Hey, quickly before we close, welcome to Todd Train, correct? So he's a new member of the league?
Yeah,
Cool.
Todd's been on the waiting list for a while. He's probably not listening right now. Looks like we have one viewer. Not sure who it is, but could be Todd. Todd's seen the podcast a few times in the past and has kind of kept up with the league and has always asked if we have an open spot, he'd like to take it. So
Awesome. Welcome.
Sure.
Busch League or
thoughts right
Busch Light? Busch League or Busch Light? Jeff King winning and then quitting.
That was going to be my exact question, basically. Weirdest exit of all time.
mic drop.
Okay.
Well,
He didn't even. I asked him because I have the trophy. I don't know if you guys remember, but I won last year, the year before this past
True.
one.
oh,
Yeah,
good
sure.
for you.
It was good for me. I asked him if he wanted the trophy. Since he quit, he goes, "No, not really." He goes, "Wait, we have a trophy? Where you been? Were you not a member of this league for the last 10 years?"
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we have a trophy.
Well,
I took a picture and sent it to him. He's like, "No, I'm good."
so
All right.
So he's moved on to a dynasty league that I'm in, and this is 25 roster spots, 12 teams. You keep everybody, and he like the most number of trades we ever had in the league in a single year was probably like 14 or something like that. There's been like 20 since he joined.
Mm-hmm.
He is. And I'd say about half of them have involved Jeff, but it's been good for the Dynasty League because there's no free agents. He can't go crazy on the free agents because there's none. And
Right.
so he just stirs the pot on trades like crazy. And it's actually been really good for the Dynasty League, so I think it's a good fit.
Well,
All right.
so long, Jeff.
Welcome, Todd.
Anything else to add, boys?
Nope. Try not to go crazy. Being isolated.
Stay
Drew's
safe
talking
out
about trying to get a video hangout going, so look for info on that.
Maybe sometime next week, like we discussed.
Sounds good, boys. We'll see you later.
All right.
See ya.
Daddy was a no-talent pussy, but at least he listened.
That's what she said.